Hey guys, thank you for hanging out with me today. It's CornishRatBeard here, bringing you another Star Trek New Horizons video. But this time, it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be doing a somewhat beginner's tutorial that I think might help lots of new players to come to grips with what's actually going on in this really awesome game. See, when I first caught wind of this game, I was so excited that I immediately went out and bought Stellaris just so I could download this mod. Well, the trouble is, I didn't have a Scooby on what to do. Never even played Stellaris, so I was completely confused. I mean, I did search up other tutorials, but didn't really find much out there that was up to date with where we are now with the mod, if that kind of makes sense. First of all though, what has Stellaris got to do with New Horizons? Well, basically, Stellaris is the base game in which you will need to play this amazing mod. In fact, it's the best mod for this game, hands down. So I want to thank the devs right now for making this epic Star Trek game, because as a Star Trek fan, it's amazing. Right, so now that we have the intro of the game out of the way, let's try to continue with the tutorial side of things, starting with picking your faction and the game settings. This may well end up as a two-parter tutorial, but we'll see how we get on. But I really think and hope it will help more new players just ease themselves into the game, because there is a lot going on, but it is really fun. And like I said, I wish there was more help around when I pick the game up. So let's start with a new game. Okay, so here we are at the Select Empire screen. Over on the left is all the empires that you can select. You can go through these as you wish. We are going to be focusing on United Earth today, because I believe that is the one faction that has pretty much everything we need to show off a tutorial for, and it's the main one. It's the United Federation of Planets, right? So over on the right we have all of our DLCs, what I own and what I don't own. But to be honest with you, you don't actually need any of these DLCs to have a really good game and a really good time. But if you do, it just enhances a bit the gameplay. That's all there is to it. So looking now, we've picked our faction. We're looking at the buffs and debuffs that we're going to get from this faction. If we hover over these tabs here, you'll see a lot of writing which you don't really need to read, but all you'll want to look at is the green writing there, the green number, and the red number. That is the buff and the debuff. So for example, we're going to get a 10% monthly increase in unity with this buff, and you're going to get a bit of a debuff with minus 10% jobs from supplies, and so on. Again, you can have a look at these debuffs and buffs to see what suits you and pick the faction that's right for you. So again, we're going to be picking United Earth, because I feel that that is the best faction we're going to get for the best type of tutorial that I'm doing for you guys. Okay guys, the map options. So first of all, you get to pick which galaxy you want to be in. There are many galaxies here, but to be honest with you, the best one, well, the one I like the most anyway, is the Milky Way galaxy, which is the official New Horizons map, the lore-rich static galaxy. So you can pick the mirror one, you can pick large, small, there's the mirror ones. Here we have the Birth of the Federation style map, which is awesome. I remember that game, we used to play it all the time. But you can't beat the main map, which is the one I think which they put the most work into, and it's just amazing. So down here, I think it's reset to default, yep. So the first option here is the tech and tradition cost. So the higher you have this, the longer it's going to take for you to get traditions and for your technology to be researched. The amount of worlds, the next one, which is in the galaxy, I like to have that one up to about 2. This gives you a few more worlds to colonize. The victory year, I don't really use that. I just call it a victory whenever I think it's a victory, so I just turn that off. Difficulty, well, that's self-explanatory. I usually like to use Grand Admiral. Scaling difficulty, now this, you can turn this on, which is good, because the stronger you get near a late game, the easier it gets. So if you keep that on, it keeps the other races kind of up to scale with you, so to speak. So you can have better fights later on. It's good to have it on. AI aggressiveness, normal. I normally keep it normal. Can have it high, but normal. Iron Man mode, same as any other game. Can't save it unless it saves itself. So that's basically it for the map options. Let's hit play and I'll see you in the game. So here we are in the main game. It started. Comes up with quite a bit of writing here. I'm not going to read it. I'm going to let you guys do that in your playthrough. I'm just going to like literally teach you the basics and try and get through it as quick as possible, but give you as much basic information so then you can just get yourself going. So I'll let you read all that and I'll begin. Here just tells you about your flagships, how they work. That will probably be more advanced. So, I mean, it might be a part 2. We'll see how it goes. But again, it's nothing to worry about just yet. Here, the start conditions. Just go with the recommended. You can play about with it after you've had a few playthroughs, but recommend the 100% default. So, here we are. This is our system. So, the solar system. Obviously, we've got Earth and all of our planets that are orbiting the Sun. Is our starbase and Mars. So this is just a system in an entire galaxy. So if you push E, it will take you out of the system and into our galaxy, which I'll zoom out, and there we go. There's the galactic core, and this is the galaxy, the Milky Way. Our galaxy. Here we can see that we've already had communication with the Vulcans. They are always there, like that, in the starting of the game. It's around the time we've met them, not too long after. And we're up on our feet. Here's our little system, and each of these stars here are all systems, separate systems. So if we click back into Sol, that's the system that you see inside. That's the system you see it from the outside. So that's just a basic. So E for you to come in and out of those systems. So let's start from the top bar. Over here is our government. And we have our Prime Minister here. And he has all of our buffs that we saw at the start of the game. It just tells you a little bit about those. Again, the most important thing to worry about is those green numbers. And any red ones. So that's our buffs. Have a look at those, and they will just automatically give you those types of buffs. That's really all you need to worry about on this page. Remember, this is just complete beginners. There's lots more for when you get really into the game. There's lots more bits there for you. There's more depth for you to look into. But right now, it's just to get you going. Top bar, we got our energy credits. Probably one of the most important thing there is. These things are like your currency. We'll show you how to get those soon. The minerals, this is what you use to sort of purchase the buildings with. Again, it's kind of like energy. Food, well, self-explanatory. The more food you have, the quicker your populations will grow on your planets, and the more population you have, the more food you're going to need to use. Supplies, these are kind of like luxury supplies. You just need them for certain buildings, certain requirements, need them. Alloys, very, very important. These are the bread and butter of your ships and starbases. You need to make alloys like you are making green, like you are making buck. You need them. Influence, again, really, really important. You don't get a lot of it, especially at the beginning of the game. Don't worry about that. It will sort of pan itself out. It will turn up eventually, and you'll start making quite a lot of that. This is used to do things like trade, edicts, lots of claiming, building outposts. We can go through that as we go, but you'll need the influence, but especially for the Federation, because the Federation uses it to get more members, so it's quite important for them. Unity, this is where you get different traditions and things, which I will show you in a moment. Unity, you get that by building various buildings, which I can show you again, but it's important. It's all important. This is your research. As you can see, it's plus 15, plus 31, and plus 17 on the different types of research. That will go up as you build more research stations and places like universities. This is another tab where it kind of puts a lot of it into one. Not much to worry about straight away, but there are some really important things on here, such as just most of it you require it for when you build ships and things like that. So you'll need an income of it, and you get it from various different ways. And this is your empire sprawl, so this is really important. As you can see, it says 14 out of 15. You don't want that to go over the 50 or whatever your maximum is at the time, because that means you're growing too quickly for your empire, for your civilization. You need to keep that within the boundaries and it will not give you any debuffs. So the larger you are, the quicker you expand, the more penalties you're going to get. So keep that well under. Envoys, these are the geezers that you send out and they will go and do all your talking to other civilizations for you to try to keep things nice and calm with other empires, so you don't really have to worry about it. They automatically do their job if you send them to that certain empire. Empire population, just how many pops you have between your planets, how many star bases you can have out of. So again, it's like the empire sprawl. You don't want to go over the 3. That will grow to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 to 10. You just want to make sure you've got, say, 3 out of 3. And the same with your naval capacity. You don't want to go over again. It will give you penalties. Your trained officers, you need to train officers to use them to build ships, actually, because you need officers, right, to run the ships. So that's important. And your dilithium, so you need that again for your ships. That's another thing that we can all do and make. Right, so that's the top bars done. I know it's nice and fast, but it's probably better that way so we can get it done. Let's go over to the sidebars. Contacts. So obviously we only have met the Vulcans. You click on them and push communicate. You can talk to them, you can improve relations, you can declare war if you want to. You can do lots of other things, but for a first playthrough and you're playing as United Earth, I recommend just sitting back and letting the diplomacy take care of itself. Let other civilizations come to you. Much easier. On to the next bar, we have the situation log. Important stuff here. Lots and lots of missions that you get given will pop up into your situation log. Just check it quite regularly because things will pop up in there that you will miss. And if there was one here, which there probably will be soon, I will show you how to deal with that. The market. So, like I said, the energy credits, that's what you use to buy certain things. Now, I recommend early game is just buying alloys when you can. So when you start making quite a lot of energy credits by selling maybe some minerals off, you just click here to sell, like so. And now I've got 270. Then you can go to your alloys and you can click buy and you can buy those. Same with everything else you need. Planets and sectors, not going to go into this because it's nothing you need to worry about. Again, as a beginner, you don't really need to worry about making sectors and checking out your planets because you don't really have many to start with. Expansion planet, again, don't really need to worry about that. Your policies, now here you can change up some stuff according to what your government allows you to do. For example, slavery is prohibited with the Federation. Now, if we were the Klingons, the Cardassians, or someone else, we could allow that. Some civilizations don't let you to allow it, such as, well, some governments, should I say, such as the Federation, we can't allow it. I'm clicking on it now, it won't work. It's just like, no, that is not us, that's not our government, we're not going to allow you to do that. You have to change governments up and stuff like that. Edicts, really, really important. You'll get buffs by enabling these edicts. So as you move on through the technology, you will get a list and you can click them on and off as and when. They're really, really good. Your traditions and relics. Now this comes from the Unity. So the more Unity you get, the quicker you get it, the quicker you can spend it. So if we open up our traditions tab, we can see lots of different traditions that we can adopt. I recommend, again as a beginner, go for discovery, especially if you're using United Earth. It just gives you lots of benefits. Once you complete this tree, you will get an ascension perk opened up here, and they are just brilliant. So use them for sure. Each tree you complete, you will get one of these unlocked. So make sure you use those. They're really, really good. Ship designer, you can mess about with this, but again, in a beginner's guide, it's nothing we want to mess with. There's a perfectly good update button on the fleet itself that you can do, which will automatically upgrade all designs. But you can mess with it if you want. Fleet manager, this is where you control all your fleets. So when you build them, that specific ship will connect with one of these fleets here. So this one here, this one says disband me, so we can just disband that one. disband that one, and we have our one fleet, so we could add ships to it, and once they're built, they will join that fleet, but I will go over that in more detail. Technology, this is where we can pick our technology. So while we're here on this tab, we do have 3 notifications that pops up. Now, notifications will pop up along here all throughout the game. You can choose to disband them by right clicking, or you can look at them by left clicking. If we left click one of these now, it will take us to our technology tab, and we can pick our technology. So these technologies, they are randomly generated, so you'll get 3 different ones pop up each time. So you can pick any one you like, any one that looks good to you. So I'll go for the Hardened Fields there, and the Heritage Museum there, because that will give us more unity, which is good. And spatial torpedoes, that will do that now. So factions, not to worry about that for now. Claims, this, you use claims when you want to go to war. Well, before you go to war, you'll pick systems that you want to have. That, say we want to go to war against the Vulcans, we would click gem and maybe this system and this system as a claim. So when we win the war, those are the 3 systems that we will gain, and we will paint them blue, the same color as us, so they'll become part of our faction. But again, as a Federation, they don't like to do that, so you can't actually make claims as a Federation because you're not really supposed to be going to war with them. So, on to the next one. Right, species, not to worry about that. And leaders. Okay, so the leaders tab. This is where you get to pick certain leaders, our governors, which will run our sectors, which is quite advanced, so I wouldn't worry about that beginning of the game. You don't really need to have governors straight away. Scientists, that's what we already have. If you click the recruit, we can get some more scientists. As you see, Jonathan Archer is here, so we can recruit him, which we will do. Now he's available for us to either put into a science ship or to put into one of our technology tabs here. But as we know, he's a captain, he's a pretty good captain, so he'll want to go into a science ship. Admirals, they are the ones that run our fleet, so we could pick one of these admirals now. Well, I don't have enough energy because we're all spent out, but I would pick one of these and make them the admiral of our fleet. Generals, and these guys run the show on the ground, so they're part of the transport fleet. Okay, so that's all the bars, top and side done. So now I'm going to show you how to harvest resources that we might have in our system. So, as you can see straight away, we have 2 numbers here with 2 icons. One's engineering research, one is chemosite. So, those 2 icons there are materials that we can harvest. One is actually research, one is chemosite, which we can harvest that. If we pop into our system, we will see other things like minerals here. There's our research, more minerals and other things, deuterium, and energy. Now, notice the energy, the minerals, they all have numbers, but they're green, which means they're already being used, they're already being harvested. Okay, so nothing to worry about those. So we actually have little space stations which are around those areas which are harvesting them. Here we are, here's one. So this is harvesting these, this is harvesting that, that's harvesting that, and so on. But the ones that aren't being harvested, you will know because they aren't green, you see? So this is one that we can go ahead and harvest. We'll do that by getting a construction ship and then building, right clicking over it and building a research station over Saturn. Our construction ship will make its way over there automatically now, and it will build that space station. Again, you'll then find the other one, which, there we are, it's over here. And you can do the same. Now, if you had the minerals, you could queue it up by holding shift now and then pushing that mining station. So once it's finished this station, it will fly over here and it will build that one automatically without you having to do that. Another way is to push E, get hold of your construction ship and just right click on the system and it will build mining stations, any of them, all of them, without having to hold shift, or research stations, which is very, very, very handy. Next, we're going to look at the planets that are in our system. So here we have Earth, so our system's here, and within them we have Earth and Mars. Both of them are colonized, both of them we can do things on. So for example, how to build stuff, how to manage it. So first of all, we want to look up here and see the crime. The crime is at 12%. Obviously the higher that is, the worse that is. This is our housing, so they need places to live, right? So if that's in the minus, we've got to build them some more houses, some more districts, which are over here. I'll talk about the districts in a moment. The amenities, this is how happy they are, this is how much entertainment they have. The higher the number, the better. This is available jobs. It will say how many available jobs there are, and this is unemployment. So if there's people that are unemployed on our planet, you'd need to build something for them to work in. And worker unemployment, that tells you how many. So here, down here, we'll start here actually. This is our districts. Okay, so this is our city. So that corresponds with the housing. If we pop on there, if we had the materials to construct it, we would push build and it would put in the build queue a city district, which would minus that, it would start plussing that up into the green. Okay, so amenities, again, entertainment. So we can now click into our building slot and we can go through. Here we have an entertainment system which produces Unity and plus 20 of the amenities, but it will cost us 2 supplies, which are up here. So that would go down to 18. You see? Fusion reactors are a good thing because they will produce our main currency, energy, and they don't cost anything apart from the minerals it costs to make them, so there's no after payments for those, which is good. It will just produce energy and it's not costing you anything to run those. So yeah, here's our alloys. This is the building that will help build our ships. A quick tip is get a couple of those in as soon as possible on your home planet because you want to get the ships being built here. Other than that, you'll want to hit up a frontier hospital as soon as it becomes available. This icon here, this administration complex, will be available to upgrade in due time. You'll want to do that on your smaller planets such as Mars, and then another slot will become available when you get the population. So as you can see, it says 8 pops and we are at 6. So once we hit 8, that will unlock and it will become available for you to put a building down. I always recommend a frontier hospital as soon as you possibly can, because that gives you amenities as well as helps the population grow on that planet. Right, on to the next bit. I think we've pretty much covered that. Well, decisions. So in here you can make some decisions. Sometimes there are special decisions you can do. They're the only ones that I really bother about, and especially in this beginner's tutorial, because the rest of them you don't really need. I mean, if the planet is going bad, and I mean really bad, you can hit this declare martial law button and it will sort of slowly sort things out for you. But other than that, you don't really need to worry about anything apart from the special ones. Now you will get a few of these straight away on Earth that you can do when you save up the amount of materials, and on Mars after a certain event fires you'll get some special ones here as well. Here is a special fund Martian terraforming, but again, I don't have the materials to do it, and you need an event to fire for it to work. So, Starbases. Okay, so this starbase is the main one in Sol. Here it is. This beautiful, big space station. Okay, that's our shipyard. It's where we're going to build ships and other various things. So we've just clicked this icon. Again, we can pop out of the into the galaxy map, out the system, and we've clicked our starbase. We can do various things with it. So it's our shipyard, and it can be anything else you want it to be, as long as you pick one of these. So a naval depot, a shipyard, energy weapons, phasers, armor plating, and a trade depot. I generally use them as just shipyards. As it's your first one, you're going to be doing many ships. Down here is facilities which are on the starbase. So you've got the modules which add to the starbase, and then you've got facilities that are within the starbase. Until you research those, it's quite limited. But defenses tab, nothing to worry about until you get further on down the line. In another video. Shipyard, yes. So here is where you're going to build some of your kind of solo ships. I don't do my fleet building here, where I add to my fleet, but I do build my construction ships and my science ships at this space station. So you'd want to get a couple maybe of science ships straight away to explore the galaxy, and I will show you how to do that soon. So this is where you'd get them. You would need the alloys and the dilithium, which we don't have any of yet, but you would click that and it would go into a queue, and after a few minutes, could be months within the game, but minutes to us, the ship will be ready to use, and it will come out in the form of one of these, which we can show you. So now you have your science ship built. You're going to want a couple of them to start with. So what you want to do with this science ship, it's within your solar system there. Just click it here. It's kind of a shortcut. You don't have to go into the system and find it. Is just look at these systems here and think, where do you want to go? So I want to go to the nearest one. Now none of these have been explored yet because you just can't see anything else apart from these stars. Just like you would do in a telescope, really. So right click with your science ship on and survey the system. You can explore, but survey it because it will do its business at the same time. It will now travel at warp speed to this system, and it will start surveying all the different planets. I'm not sure if I can go in and see it. No, I can't go in and see that yet until I've been there. It will then go around and it will survey all of these little planets that it will be in the new system that we've been to, and it will kind of unlock their minerals and their research they might have with that within that planet or within that moon or whatever. So once it's done that one, you want to keep dotting around and doing it to each and every one. Now you can, if you want to, if you just want to let it go, you can push shift again and survey this system, and you can hold shift, survey this system. So when it's finished this one, it will do this, then it will do this, and survey this one. Maybe now you've got another science ship, so you want to go this way. You would do the same with another science ship. You would start surveying all around your main starting system, which is great. It will find you lots of different minerals and lots of different planets for you to colonize in the future. Okay, so the transport fleet here, which is your troops, which land on planets, don't worry about those. And now, again, that's nothing that you don't need to know about that until further on down the line. But they are going to be important for certain events. And I'll tell you now, the Mars event will require you to have at least 3 of these made. So while I'm here, I can show you that if you go to Earth, okay, go over to armies, and then you just recruit, because you already have loads which are planetary guard mine. You can't actually use them to go and attack other planets with. You push recruit, and then, well, there isn't any to recruit right now, but there will be. So you would have different types in here. You would have humans, Vulcans, whoever you're affiliated with, different soldiers, and you can recruit those here, okay? And they will then join this transport fleet, or they will make their own. No general, but that's because you can go into leader, go to generals again, and recruit your general to lead that transport fleet. Right, so how do we sort fleets out? Well, this is your first fleet, this is the one you start with, and you normally always have a fleet to start with. Again, give them a leader when you can afford it. Okay, so you just click it there. So we have 4 ships already. So if you want to add to this fleet and not have them separate, we pop up to Fleet Manager, which is here, which is the same button I showed you earlier, which is also on the side here. But I prefer to do it this way. Fleet Manager. And again, you just add 10 of those, or when you unlock more ships in time, you'll get them here and you can pick those ones. Now, bear in mind that each one of these costs command limit. Okay, so that's what it is basically. We have 40 out of 50 right now, but if we was to build one more, it will probably go over our command limit. It might not. No, it won't. It's okay. As you can see, it's growing now, so you can go all the way to there. See, it won't allow you to build any more now. So that's how many of those we can have. So we could have, say, 6 of those, and then maybe one more of a more powerful, beefier ship that the Federation have. We all know they have those real nice, strong, big ships, which we love, and they're solid. So that would cost quite a lot just for one command limit. So you add what you want here, and then you come off that screen. So you go then onto your fleet again, and there's this button here. Now when you can afford it, when you have the alloys and all the other things that one ship does require, and it does require certain things like dilithium, it requires your trained officers, and it does sometimes, depending on the ship, require some of these items here, some of these minerals. You will then push reinforce fleet, and it will automatically build that ship from your space station and then send it to your fleet without you having to worry about it. It will just appear in this queue here, and that is the best way to do it. Okay, so, and again, if you want to make a new fleet, go to Fleet Manager and create new. Now this is the same sort of thing. So you would add a ship. There we go. We've added now a frigate, a couple of those, and when you can afford it, you push that reinforce fleet button there in this tab, and it will add to this fleet. Okay, if you just built one here, which you can, it will come out separate as a separate fleet, and then you would have to merge them. Okay, which is a button up here to do that. So you can do it. I'm just showing you a much more efficient way to be able to do it. So I've shown you how to use the science ship, and now the fleets, and using leaders. Okay, so these are all leaders. This is a leader. They all count as leaders. Recruit admirals for your fleets as well. Construction ships. So we have shown you how to grab the resources, but also the construction ship does other things. So now we've got this system surveyed. Okay, we send the construction ship to the system, and it will build us a starbase there, and then it becomes blue. So I'm going to show you that as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unpause this. I'm just pushing the spacebar. The game has now started, so we're going to start getting things popping up. Would I like the extra challenge? I like the extra challenge. You can read that for what it's about, but you don't have to, especially if you're just starting. But I'll just click yes. So we're on normal speed. So now we're going to
allow me to introduce myself.
Good timing. Q will pop up now and again.
Trust me, I'm all that. Omnipotent, omniscient, handsome.
He's helpful. But what he's going to be telling you, I'm kind of telling you. So we can accept his help, or we can tell him to go away. So I do recommend that you accept his help, but I'm going to tell him to go away, and they give you the option, are you sure? I'm going to say we don't need your mineral, because he gives you a mineral for help. Yep, understood. So all of this stuff, Q, is important, so do read that. So again, here we go. So the Vulcan command now, they're asking for a research agreement. We're going to absolutely say yes to that. Why not? But that will cost us influence, but not much. It kind of does it in points, so like 0.2, 0.3 of one influence. A non-aggression pact, yeah, see, the Vulcans will come to you. Our science ship has made its way automatically over to this system. Now we can see what it's all about inside this system. As you can see, there's lots of different things going on in here, but we don't really know yet, not until this science ship has done its business. Right, so the Vulcan High Command want a commercial pact. We just keep agreeing to that sort of thing. Here is the science ship doing its thing. It's surveying that planet. It's going to find different resources for us to harvest, and maybe some special events which our scientists can go ahead and sort. Okay, so that was the construction ship. Migration treaty, yes, this is allowing Vulcans to come to Earth and us to them. which is good. The construction ship has finished its research station. So look, we did have a number there, but now it's gone. It will be in there, and it will be green now. It's going to make its way over to this steamer site and make that station above it if we had the resources. So that's doing its thing there. We're going to just speed it right up. But the construction ship is what I wanted to show you. And now go over here, and it will give you the option to build a starbase. Okay, so when this system has been fully surveyed, you will be able to build a starbase, and what that will do is that means it's your territory then. So you will make it blue, and it will become yours. Now you want to send your science ship to every one of these systems and survey them as quickly as possible, as well as other science ships, and then get your construction ship to quickly dot down starbases, outposts, okay? And that will just gain you territory slowly but surely. That's what you want to do as quick as possible. So that is really the aim of the game, the beginning of it anyway, is to gain as much territory as you want, as you can, before others do, because they're going to be doing the same thing. So you're just going to see this place here getting redder and redder, and as you meet other empires and civilizations, they're gonna have the same kind of blobs. You want to gain as much as you can, as quickly as you can. So research will just complete as you play the game. And here's a perfect example of an anomaly. So these are things that are happening now. So you want to go to new research, get something that you want, okay, read through them, and as you can see, another notification's come up here, which is the anomaly. Alright, so you want to click on that, and it will tell you the difficulty. It's routine for this guy, okay? His skill is only a 1, but it's a routine difficulty. So the further you get, the more anomalies you're going to find, the harder it's going to be. Maybe if you've got leveled up scientists, it might be easier still, but we can research that, so do that. Right, over here on Earth, let's just slow this down to normal speed now. Earth is showing us a couple of signs that it needs a bit of attention. So if you hover over it, it says there's unemployment, and there's a slot capable of building buildings there. So we'll do that. We are still on the armies tab, so don't get confused if you're thinking, well, where's that screen gone that we needed? Pop back up to planet summary, okay? So up here, it's telling us the same sort of things it's telling us here, that there's room to build and there's unemployment. So we want to build one of those alloy foundries. Boom. Let's put that on there. That will take 117 days, but it won't do for us. Let's pop up the speed. I can quickly show you that these icons would disappear if the unemployment goes down. We may need more buildings. We may not. We will see. Okay, so this is that anomaly that's been researched over here. So it will give you, again, I'm not going to do any spoilers or anything like that, but you can read through it all here. It will give you an option of what you want to do now. So you can open hailing frequencies or you can ignore it, okay? So you get to pick how the story progresses. It's really, really cool. And then you'll get a reward or maybe a penalty at the end of this kind of episode, should we say, like Star Trek episode. You're kind of reliving your own Star Trek episode here. It's great. So you'll get upgrades, while your scientists will level up. It's fantastic. So I'm just going to ignore the vessel because, like, I don't really want you reading too much until you've done your own, because it's such a great experience. Okay, so there isn't too much more, but there are a few things. I've just sped it up a little bit for you to have a look at a couple of things that have come to my attention. So the research has just been completed, okay? So now they're flashing at me to warn me that it's just been completed. I'm going to go ahead and carry on to ignore them. What that will do is it will turn into this icon here, which just stays there until you pretty much click on it. So we can do that now, and we've got all of our research done here. You can go ahead and pick one of these. Now, one of these researchers, I think it's engineering, will come up with a colony ship. So that is what you need So you don't get confused. You won't be able to colonize any other planets until you have that colony ship technology researched. Okay? So there we go. Oh no, it was society. Perfect. So that's what it is. So you want to get that one as soon as possible. Okay? So just get him done. Colony ship. Automatic exploration is a good one, really, because that will allow your scientists to just swan off in their own direction and just explore without you worrying about it. But that's a little bit later on. You don't want to do that straight away. You want to be able to control where they go in the early game. So I'm not bothered about that, so I'm going to go for something different. I'll get that later. Right, so speaking of colony ships, we have found a planet here which has the potential to become one of, a planet in our sector. So once we have the colony ships built, you would click on the planet. There you go. That's the planet symbol. That's saying it's green, which means it's probably a class M. Yeah, it says it there, which is good for humans. They love that. So you would then click this button here, colonize. Okay. You can only colonize them when they're inside our borders, but again, that is what the starbase, or the outpost, should I say. The outpost is the construction before the starbase, so you can upgrade an outpost to a starbase. But so anyway, you would build the outpost here, it would become within our borders, then we would colonize by pushing this button, and it will ask you what race do you want to send to colonize it, humans, Vulcans, whoever you might have in your affiliation. It's usually according to what type of planet it is, to what the other empires can, humans like class M, Vulcans like more deserty planets, whatever class that is. But it will kind of tell you when you push the colonize button, it will show you what races will be able to colonize those. So you just click which one you want, and they all have their different buffs and their different debuffs about it all. Okay, so we have found another anomaly as well while we were looking around here, and a scientist has gained a trait, which means it's leveled up. There you go, a leader is leveled up, which is the guy commanding our science ship here, because he's doing anomalies and he's surveying. He's always getting some experience, so keep that going. Again, this is a routine difficulty for this guy. He's now a skill 2, he can research that, no problem. Right, so our fleets. What can you do with our fleets to start with? Well, to be honest with you guys, there's not a lot to be able to do with them. Now that I've shown you how to add to them, put their leader in place, the only thing that you can really do is explore places that you've already kind of been to with a science vessel. So you can't just go to these systems with your fleet until your science ship has at least been in the area. So let them just stick around your main system to start off with and just keep building them up. You can put them on different stances. So like here it says fleet stance passive, aggressive. So if anything's in the vicinity, it will just gun for it and attack it. Passive, it won't unless you tell it to. Okay, so I generally keep it on aggressive, to be honest. If there's something that shouldn't be there, it's going to be attacked, and I don't need to act so quickly, it will already do it. You will get events that will fire in the future for the Federation especially, which will require a fleet quite early on. Nothing too bad, and to be honest with you, there's not a lot you can do about it, to be honest. No spoilers, but keep building it up, keep adding to the fleet. Down here you want to push reinforce the fleet to add some ships to it, like I told you, and you want to upgrade. This is the button which upgrades your fleet. Do this every single time you see it. Over here is the number of the military power, the strength that it's at. So it's at 121 right now, but I've had fleets up at 100,000k and more. They get really, really good when you get like the Enterprise involved, you get the Defiance, you get all sorts of Dreadnought classes, everything, strong ships. It's so fun. And just give you a quick look if you've not seen them before. Let's just pop our fleets out here. Let's get it going. There they are, they're moving now through the sun. Slow them down. Okay, so here they are. This is your fleet. They're just going to chill wherever you want them to chill. But they are costing you more money if they're out away from their starbase. So you want to enter orbit and leave them around there and keep them on aggressive, and anyone that comes into your system they will take out. So that pretty much covers the beginning of this tutorial. It is a long one. There's no point breaking this part of the tutorial up into 2 parts. I know it's, you know, it's quite long, but it's all the information you're going to need to be able to start your own campaign and really like blossom and have a bit of fun with it. So again, if you'd like a second part, do let me know in the comments, and in that second part also let me know if there's anything you want me to address, or any questions. I will leave the first part up for a while now, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that it helped you the way that I think it would have helped me if I was really new to this game like I was once. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope to see you for part 2. Please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye for now.